Okay, so for this little build video here, we're turning this cheap slingshot, kind of a folding one. I got it at Walmart for like $6. However, I got it for $6 like 6-7 years ago. So it's probably more like 15, 20 now, but still cheap slingshots. Okay, it's probably not that much, but either way. I still need to get a string, or not string, but new bands for it, but I'll do that before the end of the video. I'm just getting started now while I have time. So I'm basically going to modify this to shoot arrows similar to a bow. Now I've seen a bunch of different techniques to do this. The main two are basically you take the little whisker biscuit basket, I have no idea why the hell they're named that, off of a bow, and strap it on there. And usually they like buy them, but they're usually like 2 or 3 times the price of the slingshot at least. So I don't know why you would do that instead of just buying a slingshot bow that they actually make but are kind of expensive. Second one is they just take a little key ring and put it on and use that. So that's actually a lot cheaper and probably the cheapest option out of all. But I decided that that's still too lazy for me and I want the basket. So I'm going to build my own. So to start with, I have this piece of, I think it's 1.5 inch PVC pipe that I have already pre-cut down. I have it cut down and cut off a little slot here so that way I can just set the arrow in and pull it back as opposed to having to awkwardly like stick it through and do that. It just seems better. Plus, you know, even like pulling sideways, it doesn't really pull. So I think we're still good there. Now what I'm gonna do to make the basket part, cheap toothbrushes from Walmart. Honestly, they're decent for brushing teeth, but they're also cheap. And sadly, the ones I thought would work perfectly were the expensive toothbrushes because they were simpler. I don't know why the cheap ones are more, but either way, it's gonna take some JB Weld here. Those are almost out, but I'm sure I can squeeze out enough. And basically glue them around here so that I have my arrow rest. But for starters, I'm going to cut off all the handles because all I need is just the brush. Okay, now that I have these toothbrushes cut up, just gonna take some JB Weld here. Okay, it's hard to grab onto. Plan B. I was gonna like dip it in, but no, that's not gonna work. So I'm going to put it on the old-fashioned way. Apply the JB Weld. And stick it inside. Make sure it goes, you know, forward and back, of course. Just like that. Now do it with the other 2. I almost said 3. Now all I have to do is just wait on that to dry. I'm not gonna lie, this actually worked way better than I thought it was going to. I mean, I figured it was gonna work, but that's actually almost perfect. That's just a marker that I stuck in to hold them in place while they dry. They seem to be holding in place, but this isn't gonna be sitting here till tomorrow. I figured I should probably have something there to make sure it stays where it's supposed to. I guess I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, once you have this done, I spray paint mine black so that way it doesn't look terrible. Basically, just gonna take some zip ties, and I'm just gonna start by taking 2 of them and put them through the sides here. I'm just gonna make them face the same way for consistency. These will be used basically to help mount it on your slingshot, which I couldn't find a replacement band for because I don't live in a place where you can find a lot of good stuff. But I just took this off my other slingshot, so it should be fine. So now what I'm gonna do is basically attach, set this down, a little zip tie through here. I don't want to tie it up all the way because I want to make sure everything stays straight. And I'll probably add a second zip tie as well. Maybe a few more just to hold everything in place. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, basically, want to make sure you hold it in place. Tighten these down all the way. And then just tighten these up until it's centered. Kind of like that. I'm gonna add a few more zip ties for security and get back to you. And there you have it. The pretty simple mod, actually. I mean, don't look at all my zip ties trying to get it on there, but you know, not bad. I played around with it a little bit. Nothing really too extensive, but I don't know how else it worked for, like, you know, the survival or hunting that a lot of people seem to promote them as, but it'll definitely be fun to play around with. So that's what I'm going to go do. Goes. Okay. Let's try that again. All right. Nowhere close to Robin Hood at this point.